I'll be presenting about how to collectively work together for climate crisis. So it's about how to best design the mechanism that individuals, corporates, and government put effort together and motivate citizens to participate. I'm dealing with different resource integration schemes. So let's start with some game. Let's donate for junior scholars here. Imagine that we have a donation campaign. Will you donate or not? If so, how much? We just found out that British Health Foundation will donate large amount of money. This significant large amount of money. Then my question is, will you still donate? If yes, how much? If not, why? Then another situation happened. Chess Foundation changed their policy. They will donate only after we achieve $1,000. Does it affect your decision? Will you still donate? If yes, how much? If not, why? So this is my research question. How to design matching mechanisms between diverse stakeholders. As a citizen, individual collectively take efforts to solve climate crisis, social problems, and political situations. But here is my question. Often we think about myself among many individuals, but actually there are diverse stakeholders. We need to also consider resources from corporations, government, civil organizations, intergovernmental organizations. That affects our decision, our motivation, our perception. It's actually very normal to see people collectively put their resources, including Black Lives Matter, BTS, and fans collectively do donate campaign. Also, government and corporate take their part in collective efforts for climate crisis. Also, U.S. elections, individuals, 35%, influential billionaires, 35%, institutions, 70%. Different stakeholders putting their resources all together. It's a very normal and usual case. I hope my research can apply to various settings. However, there are different schemes. Unconditional giving pledge. Billionaire unconditionally pledges they will donate a significant amount of their wealth. Another popular scheme, matching gift. If you give this, company will match this and twice the impact. So that's a very usual case. This just shows that how many companies are doing this. Another thing, contingent matching. Only when you reach this amount, then challenge is met and your non-profit will be supported by billionaires or government or corporate sponsorship. So there are three. I categorize them based on contingency of resources, whether resources are integrated based on some condition, and whether the amount is also conditional on your contributed amount. Unconditional giving, standard matching, contingent matchings are different in terms of contingency on resource integration and amount. How to integrate resources to bring out the best outcomes. Unconditional giving or standard matching or contingent matching. Only when you met the challenge, I will donate. According to prior literatures, the results are conflicting. For example, some say that unconditional giving from the corporate or government deters people's participation. However, some literature says corporate sponsorship increases people's participation. Regarding different matching schemes, some research says unconditional giving scheme is the best. However, different literature says contingent matching scheme works better than standard matching scheme. So here's a little bit of confusion. So I thought whether they think their behavior matters or not is the most critical factor in deciding whether to participate or not. To make a healthier society, people might think that whether your individual performance, let's say recycling 30 times by myself, affects collective performance, recycling 30,000 times by your community, whether your contribution matters for the whole donated amount. Here's the thing, we compare our contribution with other stakeholders and decide whether it's meaningful or not. So here you see the graph. This is control condition. There's no resource integrated from government, NGO, or billionaire. Donation from the citizen linearly increases total amount. What about unconditional giving? It just increases. Then you see standard matching. As you donate, matches the amount according to the ratio, so it increases the slope. Contingent matching is a tricky graph. Only when you've passed the threshold, the matching happens. So people might think that, my contribution makes difference in total amount. So that's a rationale that I have. As contingency of resource integration increases, people might think that my contribution matters because I will increase this large amount or this slope or this normal slope. This perceived behavior impact affects their decision, so mediation. And here's another thing. As we collectively put our efforts for a healthier society, people also think that whether our collective performance makes difference in Earth level. It's a huge problem and ambiguous whether recycling 30 million times makes healthier. So this term is called collective outcome expectancy, which you can think it as a hope people have. According to the prior literature, as people think that their behavior matters, they become overly optimistic about the solving climate crisis. So here is a mediation again, and you see the full research model. So I'm going to briefly show you how we tested. First, we tested whether unconditional gift is actually bad or not. Second, what if people do not believe that their contribution matters? Then we tested whether contingency matching is the best. What if people believe that climate crisis is actually unsolvable? Is it applied to other forms of collective action, such as political behavior? So these are the sequence of how we tested. I'm going to briefly show you. In study 1, we tested this green campaign. We gave two conditions, control and unconditional gift from large donor. The results shows that actually it deters. Even though billionaire pledged large amount, actually it deters people to donate and participate. It's because of the comparison mechanism that people have. My contribution does not matter to the billionaire. So unconditional gift is actually bad. What if people believe that their participation is not meaningful? Whether unconditional gift or not, it will not make any difference. So we tested again. In 5% of goal achievement situation, people have low level of perception that their behavior is meaningful. When PBI is low, then resource integration does not make any difference. The reason why resource integration schemes have difference is because of people's belief that their behavior is meaningfully contribute or not. And the whole model was tested. We found out that only when people believe their participation matters, resource integration scheme matters. Next question, what about adding conditionalities in here? I show them 4 conditions. 1, control. Citizens filled up this donated amount. 50% are donated. The next scheme, unconditional gift. Company donated this amount. Orange. And the citizen need to fill remaining 50%. Percentage-wise and amount-wise is the same. Standard matching, citizens and company 1-to-1 matching ratio, they achieve this level. Contingent matching, citizens achieve this 50% level, but only when you filled up this whole goal amount, then this orange matching from the corporate will be donated. 4 different graphs showing different matching schemes. The result is quite interesting. Contingent matching doubles the amount of actual donation, so almost $9. Interestingly, unconditional gift or standard matching doesn't make any difference. We do run a lot of standard matching schemes or unconditional pledging for social good, but actually that doesn't not make any difference even though you promote them. Billionaires are here, corporate donated, government funding is here, so you need to participate, but actually that doesn't work. But only when you put conditionality, it makes huge difference. Unconditional gift scheme is lower, so pledging is bad actually, but conditional matching is good. According to the statistics, it's quite interesting to see that 70% of matching gifts are unclaimed because people now participate. What if people believe that climate crisis cannot be solved? Will people still participate even in the pessimistic situation? I gave them this bad news about climate crisis is unsolvable, fail, skeptical, cannot. Unfortunately, we cannot solve this. It's a very pessimistic scenario. We tested running challenge by Nike. Let's collectively run for climate crisis. Nike will donate if you achieve the 1,000 kilometers of run goal. It showed that as people believe that their contributions are meaningful, whether I run 2 kilometers, 10 kilometers, 1 kilometer, as people believe more about that, it increases their behavior intention. Even though people do not believe in hopeful situation, if I make difference in this little graph, people think that I will be more willing to participate. Final question, another types of behavior, political behavior. So here's a petition scenario, banning fashion brands to burn their unsold items. So let's do petition to pass the law to ban fashion brand. There's a tricky and long procedures of petition. Collectively make a petition and make law makers to listen to citizens' voice and make their appeal to the government. It's a long procedure. It's quite interesting to see whether this mechanism also works in this scenario. So we gave unconditional giving, which means that regardless of petition outcome, lawmakers sign the signature, try their best to propose unconditionally. Contingent matching only when lawmakers will do that work. 50% are achieved. Interestingly, when conditionality was added on the petition, then people show higher intention to participate. It was a field study, so actually they signed. So this is a real behavior. Again, tested the mediation. This is the conclusion of my research. Theoretically, I show that designing a matching mechanism of external resources make huge difference. Doubling effect. Standard match is not. Unconditional giving is actually the worst. And contingency matching is the best. We need to make individual stakeholders to believe that their behavior, participation matter, make difference in collective performance. And another good news is that hopeful news is not necessary. Even though people believe that climate crisis is unsolvable, if we design mechanism in an effective way, we can make citizens to participate for collective efforts. So if you do have any questions on this, I'll be happy to discuss. Thank you.
All my lifetime, I was a professional fundraiser.
Oh.
I don't think we ever thought of contingent giving one time. So I'm wondering if you've got any data, or you might survey NGOs and other fundraising museums, find out how prevalent contingent giving is, because this is pretty, I don't want to say earth-shattering, but it's important. And I think fundraisers should realize that, like all the public radio stations, it's always matching. So I don't think folks know. Am I wrong about that? In your experience, found that many nonprofits and others know about this already?
No, I think you're right. It's very hard to find this mechanism in a real setting. I was trying my best to find the actual cases of running contingent matching schemes. It was only tested in literature in 2020. I haven't found any meaningful cases.
A pre-study managerial survey asking some fundraisers if they've thought about this. To show that very few have, might provide a really solid real-world motivation and position for your study. But it's a really good piece of work, so thank you for doing it.
Oh yeah, thank you for your kind comment. Yeah, I think it would be good to actually bring my findings to the real setting, considering that actually standard matching makes corporates less because it's on people do not donate because of the matching mechanism. So yeah, it might be really meaningful for that.
But could it be like a reduction in the goal that is in sight that is also playing a role there to try an alternative mechanism like that?
Yeah.
Looks like when I'm doing contingent,
Yeah.
the overall goal is just small.
Yeah. As you said, PBI can be manipulated in different ways. So one of it is using goal proximity. When we think about the goal proximity effect, we can always give them sub-goal. So I think this mechanism can be worked with giving people situation that their behavior can be counted.
One thing with the unlocking of the gift, I think there's two ways of doing it. The one is basically where it's based on the amount.
Yeah.
The other one is the amount of donations. From a very practical, similar things, and we have the problem that young graduates feel like their contribution doesn't matter. Like, what is $20? And now suddenly you can convince somebody that $10 or $20 become meaningful. I think this could be like interesting to see if do you hit the amount or the amount of donations.
Yeah, that's very good comment. Yes, I think this situation really validates this finding too.